Peace. Peace. Ross Davis L. This is Journey Coaching with Ross. This is a breakdown of the Kybalion by the three initiates. Here is a copy of a cover of the Kybalion. If you're looking for it, you can find this one. There's many different covers. This is the one that I have. I found it at my local bookstore for about $10. You can find one at your local bookstore, library, or Amazon, PDF version. You can definitely find the principles on PDF. They're just on the web in general. You can print them, take them however you see fit. This work of the Kybalion is completed with the intent to place in the hands of the student a master key and give the fundamental teachings and working principles to apply to yourself. The key is to apply these principles to yourself. Let these teachings serve as a great reconciler of the differing theories and opposing doctrines that you come across. Students of comparative religions are able to perceive the influence of the Hermetic teachings in every religion. From lip to ear, the truth has been handed down among the few. Those who are interested in this information usually do not run in packs, are not the most popular. However, they seek the truth. The truth is not always popular, but it's always the truth. Where falls the footsteps of the master, the ears of those ready for his teachings open. When the ears of the student are ready to hear, then cometh the lips to fill them with wisdom. The Hermetic philosophy. The lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of understanding. From old Egypt, Kemet, that's how I will refer to Egypt going forward, come the esoteric occult teachings of the Kybalion, from which all nations have borrowed. In Kemet, the great adepts and masters dwelt studying in the great lodge of lodges of the mystic. Hermes Trismegistus, or Thoth, or Tahuti, is the father of the occult wisdom, astrology, and alchemy. He is regarded as a contemporary of Abraham, living hundreds of years in the flesh. Hermetic means secret, which also means occult. And they talk things as, do not cast pearls before swine, milk for babes, meat for strong men. These maxims are in the Christian scriptures, but were in Kemet centuries before the Christian era. The Hermetic philosophy was never intended to be identified with any location of the world or with any religious sect. This was to dissuade the philosophy from becoming crystallized into a creed. And when it was written, the meaning was veiled in terms of alchemy and astrology. This was to avoid persecution of the theologians of the Middle Ages. To give some perspective, this is around the time of the rise of Christianity in Europe. The Kybalion, the exact meaning of the term, has been lost for centuries, but it was a collection of maxims, axioms, and precepts understood only by the student. Here's a picture of Tahuti. He's pictured as an Edis holding a papyrus with the Kemites or Kemetans used to write. That escapes me at the moment of what it's actually called. But he taught the world many things. It's worth looking into. The 7 Hermetic principles are mentalism, the all is mind, the universe is mental. Correspondence, as above, so below. As below, so above. Vibration, nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. Polarity, everything is dual, everything has poles, has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. Rhythm. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. Cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. Gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. Mental transmutation. Mind, as well as metals and elements, may be transmuted from state to state, degree to degree, condition to condition, pole to pole, vibration to vibration. True hermetic transmutation is a mental art. Astrology is greater than astronomy. Alchemy is greater than chemistry. Mystic psychology is greater than modern psychology. Excuse me. The ancients possessed the former, which contained the inner and outer knowledge, as opposed to the modern, which is the later, which just contains the outer knowledge. Transmutation means, in this definition and all other definitions going forward, unless otherwise noted, will be defined from the view of the occultists. Transmutation is to change from one nature, form, or substance into another, to transform. Mental transmutation is the art of changing and transforming mental states, forms, and conditions into others. This allows you to be a master and a controller of what's ordinarily called mental, and known as mental. The all is mind. The universe is mental, existing in the mind of the all. You can change your mind and those of others' states consciously by understanding the laws and principles. And those who were affected were uninformed of self-protection. The minds of others may be changed with the desire, will, and treatments of person desiring to change conditions of life. The all, under and back of the universe of time, space, and change is ever to be found, the substantial reality, the fundamental truth. What is substance? Substance is that which underlies all outward manifestations, the essence, the essential reality, the thing in itself. Substantial is actually existing, being the essential element, being real. Reality is a state of being real, true, enduring, valid, fixed, permanent, actual, etc. Under all outward appearances, there's always a substantial reality. Man sees constant change in matter, forces, and mental states. Everything is becoming and changing. The law of rhythm is constantly in effect. The all has been given various names. It's been referred to as a deity, the infinite and eternal energy, matter. The all is self-evident. Its inner nature is unknowable. All theories regarding its inner nature are folly of mind to grasp the secrets of the infinite. Even worse is attempting to project the personality, qualities, properties, characteristics, and attributes of man onto the all. This is not worthy of men and women. What is the all? The all is not matter, for matter cannot manifest life or mind, and they are manifested in the universe. The all cannot be matter, for nothing rises higher than its own source. The all is not force or energy, for these are manifest as the materialists know them and use the term, for they lack life and mind. The all is life and mind, but not as mortals know them. The all is infinite living mind, aka spirit. There's a distinction made between religion, theology, philosophy, and metaphysics to the occultists. Religion is the institutional realization of the existence of the all and one's relationship to it. Theology is the attempts of men to ascribe personality, qualities, and characteristics to it, and the assumption of the office of middleman between the all and the people. Philosophy is the inquiry after knowledge of things knowable and thinkable. Metaphysics is the attempt to carry that inquiry over to the boundaries of things known and unknown and unthinkable. Religion and philosophy have roots in reality, as theology and metaphysics are rooted in ignorance. The human mind is compelled these three things about the all: that the all must be all there really is, that there is nothing outside of the all, else the all would not be the all, that the all must be infinite, that there is nothing outside of the all, that the all must be immutable or unchangeable, that there's nothing able to work change upon it. The mental universe. The universe is mental, held in the mind of the all. What is spirit? Spirit cannot be defined, but is the highest conception of infinite living mind that man has. What is the universe? Can it be the all? It is not the all, and is made up of many and always changing. If the universe exists at all, it must proceed from the all. Since something cannot come from nothing, what was used? This can only be answered using the principle of correspondence. On this plane, man can create physically with outside materials. He can procreate, or he can create mentally. The all created the universe mentally, using infinite mind. The principle of gender is on all planes of life. The all is above the law. When the all manifests on the plane of generation or creation, it is done according to law and principle. The all is one, but manifests in two aspects: the masculine principle and the feminine principle. The masculine principle projects its will towards the feminine. The feminine principle works to create the universe according to the laws of nature. Death is not real and is just a birth to a new life. The universe is your home. Your possibilities are infinite in time and space. When the all draws back into itself all of creation, you will be able to know the whole truth of being at one with the all. The divine paradox. The half-wise, recognizing the comparative unreality of the universe, imagine that they may defy its laws. Such are vain and presumptuous fools, and they are broken against the rocks and torn asunder by the elements by reason of their folly. The truly wise, knowing the nature of the universe, use law against laws, the higher against the lower, and the art of alchemy transmute that which is undesirable into that which is worthy, and thus triumph. Mastery consists not in abnormal dreams, visions, and fantastic imaginings or livings, but in the using of higher forces against the lower, escaping the pains of the lower plane by vibrating on the higher. Transmutation, not presumptuous denial, is the weapon of the master. The paradox of the universe arises from the principle of polarity. The all witnesses things from the state in meditation or a dream. You should always keep in mind the higher truths. There are two poles of truth, absolute and relative. Beware of the half-truth. Absolute are things as the mind of God knows them. Relative are things as the highest reason of man understands them. The laws of the universe are iron laws because of the mental nature. All except the all are bound to them. We can overcome the lower laws by applying the higher laws. The principle of mentalism does not change scientific conception, but is further corroborated by it. That the mind is the greatest natural force. Do the best you can under the circumstances of each day and live to your highest ideas and ideals. The true meaning of life is not known to men on this plane, but the highest authorities teach us we will make no mistake living up to the best that is in us. The all in all. While all is in the all, it is equally true that the all is in all. To him who truly understands this truth hath come great knowledge. In this maxim is concealed one of the greatest philosophical, scientific, and religious truths, that the spirit of my creator is inherent within me, and yet I am not he. To the degree you realize the existence of the indwelling spirit within your being, so will you rise in the spiritual scale of life. Spiritual development is the recognition, realization, and manifestation of the spirit within us. There are many planes of life, from the smallest to as close as possible to the all. All are on a path back to the all. When the all aspect of being projects its will towards the aspect of becoming, the process of creation begins. This process consists of lowering a vibration until extremely low degree it reaches the grossest possible form of matter is manifested. This is called involution. This is when the all becomes involved in its creation. Individualization is the tendency to separate units of force so that which left the all as individualized energy returns as countless highly developed units of life. This is the process that we are on, of individualization. So we're here to develop ourselves to return as highly developed units of life. The involuntary stage of creation is known as outpouring of divine energy. As the evolutionary state is called indrawing, where the vibrations lowered that have lowered to a point where it stops to lower and returns to the all. Meditation is a process of mental creation of the universe in the mind of the all. Contemplation is also used, which is the employment of divine attention. Attention is derived from the Latin root, meaning to reach out. The act of attention is really a mental reaching out of mental energy. Why does the all create the universe? The all acts because it acts. The all, its reason, its act, its law are one. The law of correspondence reaches only to the aspect of the all, which is spoken of as the aspect of becoming. Planes of correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. There's harmony between the several planes of manifestation, life, and being. This is true because all that's included in the universe emanates from the same source. There are three great planes in ascending degree of scale of life: the great physical plane, the great mental plane, and the great spiritual plane. A plane is a state or condition, is the degree of dimension in a scale subject to measurement. A dimension is a measure in a straight line relating to measure, such as length, width, height, and a fourth dimension of vibration, which is the third principle. The degrees of rate of vibration constitute the degrees of measurement of the scale of vibrations, which is the basis of planes. The three great planes are further broken down into 7 minor planes, respectively. The great physical plane is subdivided into the matter A, which are solids, liquids, gas; matter B, radiant; matter C, subtle forms unknown to science; ethereal substance, which is a substance of extreme tenuity and elasticity, pervading all space and acting as a medium for transmission of waves of energy and partakes of the nature of each; energy A, which is heat, light, magnetism, electricity, and attraction, and other forms of energy indicated by science experiments but not yet classified; energy B, which comprises 7 subplanes of higher forms of energy not yet discovered by science, called nature's finer forces. Energy C, which comprises 7 subplanes like life, but not recognized in the minds of men in ordinary plane. They are considered divine and available for use on the spiritual plane alone. The great mental plane is the first of these subdivisions are the mineral mind, which comprises states or conditions of the units or entities or groups or combinations of the same, which animate the forms known to us as minerals, chemicals, etc. Is not to be confused with molecules, atoms, and corpuscles. Elemental mind A, which comprises states or conditions and degree of mental and vital developments, class of entities known to the average man, but recognized, not known to the average man, but recognized by the occultists. Their degree of intelligence is between the mineral and chemical entities in plant kingdom. Plant mind, in 7 subdivisions, comprises states or conditions of the plant world that have life, mind, and soul. Elemental mind B, in its 7 subdivisions, are the higher forms of elemental or unseen entities which play a part in the general work of the universe, mind, life, mental part of scale between plant mind and animal mind. Animal mind are entities, beings, or souls animating animal forms of life. Elemental mind C and its 7 subdivisions are entities, beings, entities, beings, invisible, which partake in the nature of animal, human, life, and a degree in certain combinations. These highest forms are semi-human in intelligence. In the human mind, in its 7 subdivisions, manifestations of life and mentality common to the man in its various grades, degrees, and subdivisions. The average man of today is in the 4th plane. The most intelligent are in the 5th plane. Superman is in the 6th plane, and Overman is in the 7th plane. The elementary planes are like black keys of the piano to the white keys for mineral, plant, animal, and human mentality in life. The great spiritual plane and its 7 subdivisions are beings spoken of as angels, archangels, demigods, lower level masters, and adepts. Above them are the hierarchies of the angelic hosts. Many of these beings take great interest in the affairs of the universe and usually help to evolve the cosmic progress, i.e. Tahuti. And they are responsible for legends of old. They are under the law of the all, but below absolute spirit. There are not many who can comprehend the higher levels of this plane. Spirit is living power, animated force, inner peace, the essence of life, also known as prana, chi, ki, so forth. This energy may be used for good or evil, but beware approaching evil. The Hermetic principles are in effect on all planes at all times. The mental universe, all is held in the mind of the all. Correspondence, there's harmony between the several planes. Vibration, which is the difference that makes the planes. Polarity, which are the poles of opposites. Rhythm is the ebb and flow between those opposites. Cause and effect, every cause has an effect and vice versa. Gender, which is always present and is a creative energy that is in constant operation. Vibration, nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. 20th century scientific discoveries agree. The difference between the manifestations of the universal powers is due to the varying rates of vibration. The all vibrates at a rate so fast that it's still. Science teaches all matter manifests in a degree from vibration of temperature and heat. That light, heat, magnetism, and electricity are forms of vibratory motion connected with the ether. But it does not explain cohesion, molecular attraction, chemical affinity, which is the principle of atomic attraction, or gravitation. To science, ether is not fully understood. To the occultists, ether is matter vibrating at a higher rate of extreme tenuity and elasticity and pervades universal space serving as a medium of transmission of waves and vibratory energy. All manifestations of thought, emotion, reason, will, desire, or mental state or condition are accompanied by vibrations, and a portion is thrown off and tend to affect the minds of others by induction. This is the underlying reason of telepathy. When vibration is applied to mental phenomena, you can polarize your mind to any degree, gaining control over your mental states, moods, etc., and the same for others. Vibration at will is acquired by proper instruction and exercise in the science of mental transmutation. Polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. All manifested things have two sides with a degree between the two extremes. Hermetics teach opposites may be reconciled. Opposites exist everywhere. Where you find one, you find the other. Things of the same class can be transmuted, meaning the same kind that vary in degree. Positive versus negative. The positive pole is the higher degree and dominates the negative. Nature prefers the dominant pole. Mental influence shows expansion of the principle of polarity, so influences of one's mind over another. This can help with mental treatments, which is also a basis for life coaching. This helps better understand your own mental states and that of others. In being able to raise and lower your vibration at will, you become a master of your mental states and not a slave. Rhythm. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. Everything manifested has a measured motion to and from movement. This is connected to polarity. The pendulum swings towards the first pole and then the other. There's always action and reaction. Science, this is considered a universal law when applied to mental things. The occultist applies this to the material and the mental world and accounts for the moods, feelings, and other changes we notice about ourselves. You can escape rhythm by transmutation, using the higher law over the lower, and the law of neutralization by raising your ego above the unconscious plane. There are two general planes of consciousness, lower and higher. You can polarize yourself to the desired pole by refusing to participate in the influence of the other pole and letting the mental pendulum swing on the unconscious plane. This requires a degree of self-mastery. The will is superior to the conscious manifestation of rhythm, though it cannot be destroyed. The law of compensation is to counterbalance. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. The capacity for pleasure and pain is balanced in everyone. The pleasure felt today has its corresponding degree of pain experienced in this life or a past. Reincarnation is accepted by the occultists. Causation. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. Nothing happens by chance. There's always a cause and a because to every event. This principle underlies all scientific thought. There's nothing outside of the all, so there can be nothing outside of the law. Chance is an unknown cause. Chance, defined by Webster, is a supposed agent or mode of activity other than force, law, or purpose. The operation or activity of such agent, the supposed effect of such agent, happening, fortuity, causality, etc. No thing ever causes or creates another thing. This principle deals with events only. An event is that which comes, arrives, or happens as a result or consequent of some other preceding event. No event creates another, but is a preceding link in the orderly chain of events flowing from the all. There is no continuity between all events, precedent, consequent, and subsequent. There is a relationship between everything before and follows. Free will versus determinism. Both are half-truths of the opposing pole. The further the creation from the center, the more it is bound. The nearer center it reaches, the nearer free it is. Meaning, the further you are from the all, you can choose something besides that which the all will choose. But the closer you get to the all, the more your actions are aligned with the all, and you do what the all would do, or will want done. Most people are slaves to heredity and their environment, etc., and manifest little freedom, and are swayed by the opinions, customs, and thoughts of the outside world, and by their emotions, feelings, and moods, etc. The master rises above the plane of material life to get in touch with the higher powers to dominate their moods, characters, qualities, and polarity, as well as their environment. They serve on the higher planes, but they rule on the material plane. Gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. To the pure, all things are pure. To the base, all things are base. You must raise your thoughts beyond your base desires. In its hermetic sense, and sex and the ordinarily accepted use are not the same. Gender is derived from the Latin meaning to beget, to procreate, to generate, to create, to produce. In its broader sense, a manifestation of gender on a certain plane of the great physical plane, the plane of organic life. The office of gender is creating, producing, generating, etc., and is visible on every plane, but is not yet recognized by science for its universal application. The masculine principle is a positive, proton, real, strong. The feminine principle is the negative, electron, unreal, weak. This is speaking of pole activity only, not that one is greater than the other. You can use cathode, which means the descent, the path of generation from the Greek root for the masculine and feminine principles, energies. So you say the masculine cathode or the feminine cathode, this descent nature of that energy. When the masculine and feminine corpuscle unites, the process begins, where the feminine principle vibrates rapidly, influenced by the masculine energy, and it circles around it, resulting in a new atom. The new atom is a separate thing, having certain properties, but no longer manifesting free electricity. Ionization is the process of detaching and separating electrons from atoms. Electrons are the corpuscles that are the most active workers in nature's field. Rising from the unions of the masculine and feminine cathode manifests light, heat, electricity, magnetism, attraction, repulsion, chemical affinity, and the reverse. The masculine principle directs energy towards the feminine principle and starts the creative process. The feminine is always doing the active work of creation. Electricity is now generally regarded as something into which all other forms of energy dissolve. The law of gravitation is attributed to the principle of gender. Mental gender. The masculine principle is the objective or conscious mind. Feminine principle is the subjective or subconscious mind. You are encouraged to examine your own consciousness regarding yourself and turn your attention inward and focus on the spirit within. You should get a report back as I am, which is separated into two parts, I and me, which differ in characteristic and nature. Me is the mental womb, reports to consciousness as me with latent powers of creation, generation, and mental progeny of all kinds, but needs an I to operate. Man thinks of himself as his feelings, tastes, likes, dislikes, habits, his peculiar ties, characteristics, etc., which all make up his personality. Sometimes he includes his knowledge, which is gathered in his mind, and his personal apparel. These things are produced by his mind. These can be said to consist of his body consciousness and physical appetites, or his aspect of becoming, and is the aspect of becoming. The I exerts its will on the me and witnesses the creation process. The I is able to rest in its consciousness at will and is the aspect of being. Mental gender explains mental influence. The feminine principle generates new thoughts, concepts, ideas, and imaginations. The masculine principle does the work of the will. Without the will, the feminine principle is apt to be content with generating mental images that result of impressions received from outside instead of creating its own. Those who can give continued attention and thought to a subject actively use both mental principles of masculine and feminine. In a normal process, the masculine and feminine principles in one's own mind coordinate to produce his own images. But the average person dwells almost exclusively in me or the subconscious, unaware of the I, the conscious. The consequence of a weak will is to be ruled by another's will. The influence exerted by one over another due to vibration and mental gender lies the secret of personal magnetism, influence, and fascination. Telepathy is vibratory energy of the masculine principle is projected towards the feminine principle of another, and the later takes the seed thought and develops it into maturity. And the later also thinks it as an original idea. This is the same for suggestion and hypnosis. Suggestion is a method whereby an idea is transferred to or impressed upon the mind of another, causing the second to act in accordance with it. This understanding is necessary to comprehend the very phenomenon that suggestion underlies. It is customary in teaching suggestion to explain that it is the objective or voluntary mind making a mental impression upon the subjective mind, but this does not explain the process as the occultists. The occult teachings show that creation of the universe follows the same creation upon all planes. This is why mental gender works in practice, because it is based on the immutable universal laws. Hermetic axioms. The possession of knowledge, unless accompanied by a manifestation and an expression in action, is like the hoarding of precious metals, a vain and foolish thing. Knowledge, like wealth, is intended for use. The law of use is universal, and he who violates it suffers by reason of his conflict with nature, with the natural forces. Make these your own and practice them and use them, for they are not really yours until you use them. The will directs the attention, and attention changes vibration. Cultivate the art of attention by means of will and solve the secret to mastering moods and mental states. To destroy an undesirable rate of mental vibration, put into operation the principle of polarity and concentrate upon the opposite pole, that which you desire to suppress. Kill out the undesirable by changing its polarity. To kill out a negative quality, concentrate on the positive pole of the same quality, and vibrations will gradually change until you polarize yourself on the positive pole. Mind, metals, and elements may be transmuted from state to state, degree to degree, condition to condition, pole to pole, vibration to vibration. Mastery of polarization is mastery of the fundamental principles of mental transportation or mental alchemy. Unless one acquires the art of changing his own polarity, he is unable to affect his environment. Results depend on the student. Rhythm may be neutralized by an application of the art of polarization. The advanced occultist polarizes himself to the positive pole of his being. the I am pole rather than the pole of personality. And by refusing and denying the operation of rhythm, raises himself above its plane of consciousness. You do not destroy the principle of rhythm. However, you counterbalance it with another. Nothing escapes the principle of cause and effect, but there are many planes of causation, and one may use the laws of the higher to overcome the laws of the lower. Rising to a higher plane of causation, you become a cause to a degree by being able to master your own moods and feelings. They create new characters, qualities, and powers by which they overcome the ordinary environment. You will be able to do that as well once you are able to raise above normal plane, the normal plane, the lower plane. Wise serve on the higher, but rule on the lower. He who understands this is well on the road to mastery. True hermetic transmutation is a mental art. The work of influencing one's environment is accomplished by mental power. If the universe is mental, it follows that it may be ruled by mentality. If the universe is mental, the mind must be the highest power affecting its phenomena. The all is mind. The universe is mental. All right, and that wraps up the breakdown of Kybalion. Again, I'm Ross Davis L. I'm a certified life coach, mindfulness certified, and I'm also a 200-hour yoga instructor. This journey coaching with Ross is a service offered by the Davis L. Paxaltium Trust. Excuse me. Here you'll find some contact information. You want to send a letter, an email, visit our website, www.davislpaxaltium.org. There you can book a free 30-minute consultation. You can sign up for journey coaching. You can sign up for yoga. You can order one of our other products. These turbans that I'm wearing, you can order one of those. Have another style which you can cover your face. It's called an El Sabad. There are other craft items and other products in general. Again, I hope you got something out of this, got some value. This is a breakdown of Kybalion. This is Journey Coaching with Ross. I'm Ross Davis L. Peace.